have for us in critical thinking?
I want to talk about black and white situations. Situations that feel binary. Either you win or you lose. Either it goes up or it goes down. So those are the kinds of situations where you need a little more finesse to get through them.
So what are some examples?
Good question. Examples would be like we just talked about Iran and the nukes. Either the Iran gets a nuke or it doesn't get a nuke. That's kind of a binary question. Your boss, you either get a raise or you don't get a raise. So that's kind of a binary question. Investing. Do you buy this or do you sell this? Do you buy or you sell? Do I do it or do I not? It kind of feels binary, but it doesn't have to be just black and white. You can put a little nuance in there.
Well, how can we avoid them?
Well, that's a good question. So here's one way, is to make it about more than just one issue. So expand the pie so that everybody gets a little piece and everybody feels like they got something. So in fact, one of the things you can do is invent a new option. If it's you get a nuke or you don't get a nuke, well, maybe there's something else that we could do that would broaden it, so maybe there's something else they want other than nuclear weapons. Or maybe there's something we want that's beyond that, although that's unlikely. In a raise, a lot of people will take a little more time off than more money. A lot of times they'll take a little more benefits for a little more money. Some people just like a promotion or more opportunity for a little in exchange for money, so there's compromise there. Investing, well, investing is pretty straightforward, right? So instead of either buying or selling a whole position, why don't you buy or sell just a little bit of it? So if you have 100 shares of something, instead of saying, oh, should I sell it, should I do with it, sell half of it. Sell half of it. It's very common that people think, well, should I buy or should I sell? Well, how about you buy a little bit? Nibble. I like nibbling. You just nibble a little bit. So instead of saying I need 100 shares of Apple, well, that's expensive, so maybe I'll only get 10. Because maybe it's too high, maybe it's too not. So think about it as changing the situation and avoiding a binary decision by expanding it.
Well, what if that doesn't work, or if it isn't possible?
Well, it probably isn't possible with Iran and the nukes. I mean, it's a binary situation. Either they get one or they don't. That's the question. So one of the things in negotiations is you don't want it to come down to that issue if there are other issues on the table. So tackle the big things first, not last, because you can't adjust. So one of the mistakes that people make in negotiations is they know the price is what everybody counts on, so they negotiate all the stuff to come all the way down to price, and then it all comes down to price, and then it comes down to a binary decision. Well, put the price or whatever the decision is up front, and when you bring it up front, then all these other things can come in and get adjusted behind it. So if you say, well, I can't afford more than, I don't think that stock's worth more than $100, well, then we go back and forth on it, and we can add other things in. Or actually, a better example would be an employee. I don't think you're worth more than $20. Well, how about if I give you an extra week's vacation, and that might work out. So, but you can bring that back in. But if you've already agreed on the vacation and everything else, it's hard to bring in extra things. So that's really the secret to black and white or binary situations, whereas a 1 or 0 or on or off, is to try to avoid them by making them broader.
And what's your takeaway?
My takeaway is when facing a black and white issue, you really want to resolve, try to broaden the situation so more issues are on the table. That way both sides can feel like they won some and lost some. People with everything to gain and nothing to lose rarely give in.